Hey everybody, this is Chad Warren at chadwarren.me. Wanted to do a video response to a YouTube video by Bill Whittle. The Joker movie slammed for a song played by every high school band. It's Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll #2. I get confused with dun dun dun, dun, but it's the other one. Anyway, so the topic is about separating art from the artist. Should you do that? So I would encourage you to check out their video to hear their points. Evidently, it's called The Right Angle is the name of the show, billwhittle.com. I have to go check it out. But I've been noticing Bill and his associates, there's 3 of them that share their views on the right angle, and they're conservative, but to me it's like we come from these different identity groups. No matter how much you try to be yourself, everything has to be about balancing between 2 opposites, so the commentary towards the end about the Democratic National Committee, which now I'm confusing this, but it's similar to Brooks Agnew on another video was talking about how the DNC is originally they were anti-federalists, but he was saying that meant that they were pro-monarchy. So now we're talking about where I think that people that are way more into mainstream politics, I'm not into mainstream politics because I don't think that the system works. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Harvard did a study, regardless of the legislation, it has at best a 30% chance of passing because of the influence of money. Science doesn't work, everything depends on that's the problem of capitalism, is on the one hand I like being able to own personal property and all that stuff is great, but eventually you're playing with money from this banking system that is holding has spell cast everybody to think that value is in the money versus the person that comes up with the good, the person that ships the good, the person that buys the good and uses the good or service. So that all needs to go. That's dumb. We've got bitcoins. We don't even need the government. It's stupid. You got computers. You can program them in whatever rules you want. I'd trust that way more than a cop who's already. Most people are robots. They just follow commands without considering. They're not critical thinkers. They don't live critically. So he was saying that the Democrats, the only reason they exist is because they're that voice that says, well, we need to do things different. This isn't working. And that if the society was working correctly, you wouldn't need them. Okay, that's valid enough as at least a logical concept, however utopic. But what the pro-Trump people are missing is that there is no difference between social justice warriors, right? The women wearing the pink pussy hats, the people calling themselves anti-fascists and they're beating people over the head with bike locks, just nuttier than loons. Hell, I've had local people, Obama supporters, throw a beer in my face at a Super Bowl party because the guy brought up the topic about the Obama birth certificate, said anybody that doubted that is racist. And I felt, which is a failure, to try to speak about facts to somebody as if they too respected critical thinking, which they don't. And you could tell by the passion of my voice. That's why I don't understand, because I sure understand what it means to be passionate and want to beat the crap out of somebody that's full of crap. But anyway, I gotta get up these damn mosquitoes. God bless. Mosquitoes are the devil. Anyway, So, yeah, the left's got the social justice warriors, but the right virtue signals too. Where did Donald Trump go to court his internet fan base of Pepe meme warriors? Oh, gee, I don't know. Alex Jones' show. What's his show called? InfoWars. Oh, so the right, the alt-right has info warriors, which are just the same worthless malcontents as social justice warriors. How do I know? Because I drank that Kool-Aid for a long time. I mean, I had a meetup once back when Ron Paul was running. You know, just like how all these people are sucked into Bernie. You know, obviously he's going to fail. Well, how crazy is that? Mark Zuckerberg is financing Bernie? Come on, man, that's just some way to shelter money or something. There's no way. The guy's dying of a heart attack. Didn't he declare himself invalid the other day? It's just ridiculous. So, because my understanding is that despite all the criticism on the from big tech and controlling, censoring the right, I think they probably like the business tax situation a lot better. I don't know, but yeah, and they got the left is going after them a little harder than the right about breaking up their monopoly. So, anywho, yeah, when I had that meetup to gather these info warriors, I said, here's these 10 things that I'm interested in. What are you interested in? Not a peep. Because it's just a bunch of repeaters. That's just a bunch of people that want to, where's my concert shirt? Gonna give me my MAGA hat. I gotta make Israel great again and buy my Made in China hat. Yeah, and then I'm gonna talk about tariffs on China. You know, I mean, that's just why the damn America supposedly revolted from Great Britain, is because of tariffs and crap like that. But we're saving the world with tariffs. While at the same time, the freaking NBA is over there totally dominated by China. That's why they sent the damn Ying Mao, what is his name? The big, tall Chinese guy. Come on, man, all of that shit is Freemasonic. All it is you just put a brand on nature. That's all it is, man. That's all the Rockefellers are. The guy's mom was an herbalist. Or dad or mom, I don't remember which one. But what did he proceed to do? He proceeded to create the petrochemical industry, which is monopolizing a natural resource, and he created Big Pharma, which is all about synthesizing nature and all this intellectual property BS. Ain't doing no good for nobody. Come on, man. Anybody on the internet, the whole internet is this halfway point between capitalism and communism. It's just frustrating to me that I always feel outside of these groups, and I feel obligated to lecture to these people about what the heck their own identity label is supposed to mean. Conservative, or Christian, or Constitution. You just, if you mistake the map for the terrain, you have schizophrenia. It's very popular. It's very possible to induce mental illness through behavior programmed in popular culture. And just like there was a Protestant movement, that's all fake. That's all managed. I just got this book, and it's the Grimoire of Aleister Crowley, and it's got a famous modern magician, Lon Milo DuQuette, doing the intro. And so we're talking about a whole bunch of people that are super individualistic, and then having these, the whole book is about the group aspect of magical ritual. But anyway, that's supposedly what that group offers, is how do you get a whole bunch of individuals to cooperate, right? And that's, of course, what the United States is supposed to be about. So these concepts are valid, but we have got to, anarchy is the way. Anarchy doesn't mean I've got a Molotov cocktail and I'm yelling and I'm throwing. All of that idea of rebellion is a scam. The whole Southern Civil War, all of that was all British people, just like you're talking about, coming over here and giving people some fake way to find freedom. It's not by yelling, and it's not by, what the right does is they act like everything is hunky-dory. Oh, well, I'm just not going to feed into what you're doing, because everything's fine. I'm just going to eat my poisonous food that's full of preservatives and genetically modified organisms. So my main point is just that the alt-right is just as much these malcontent losers. What do I have to show for all this knowledge that I've gained from the internet? You know what I mean? I've gotten more value out of 11 days through this Career Karma app that is showing me how to get a job in tech. You know, I've already been conditionally accepted to this Kinsey Academy. And the reason why, personally, other than to get a job as opposed to, oh, may I please work at your freaking convenience store? Oh, did I test positive for weed? Oh my God, I am just the devil. I'm sure your accountants and your business managers are just geniuses and are saving the world by making sure that they know what's in my piss. Give me a break. At a freaking convenience store? Stupid. I want that whole world to fail. And I don't even care what you want to do. I want everybody that wants to do something to work towards doing it. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't even matter. If everybody was like totally committed, that would take care of the problems, because then you're going to meet other people that are not weak and are not repeaters. And that's something that I did figure out when I lived in Seattle in '99 and they had this Battle of Seattle protest, and I just lived there and was working at Kinko's copies and couldn't go to work. That's where the Bill Gates and all of these industrialists, you know, these lords of industry or fascist dictators are meeting. And of course, fascist, communists, it's all the damn same thing. Read Anthony Sutton, 1970s economic professor out of California, I don't know, Berkeley somewhere. He'll tell you the Wall Street funded the Bolshevik Revolution. So cut that out, man. All of these people, anybody, it's like that Operation game. Anybody that talks about voting, talks about left versus right, fail. If you can show me how in local politics I can get something done, okay. You know, we all just need to ditch with these labels. Like, look at the Hong Kong situation. Well, that's a bunch of democratic type of protester type of people, only they know how to do it effectively. Not just be a bunch of whiny, spoiled people, you know. And we do need to listen to that. Because China has totally taken over America. They own the ports at Long Beach where all the stuff comes in. They own the entire movie distribution system. Sony and all the movie theater chains and all that. So if you want to jump up a level, and I don't mean to be condescending because I really like you guys, you know, politics is you got to hang out with people that are in these different sectors. And create a confederacy, create a United States. What can you agree on and work on, plan, do, and review? What can you show results, metrics? So that's what I'm looking to do with learning about computers. It's because that Career Karma app is like the app I want to make, but for people that talk about politics, the occult, conspiracies. You got to find teams, you got to find projects to work on and get results. It just makes me madder than hatter to know that very few people that talk about 9/11 was an inside job. How many few of those people even know about the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Truth, that they're suing the FBI right now, that the
former head of the investigation himself says it was a scam. His hands are tied. You know, they gave $150 million to research something like the Shuttle Challenger disaster. And they gave him, I don't know, 30 or something like that. But, so, yeah, over at Career Karma, it's got how, you know, here, meet 2 people a day, you know, and here explaining, here's what a boot camp is. We need that kind of strategy. And I definitely should include local politics if you can get something done. Over in Europe, they have a whole bunch of, you know, people protest something like a farm bill, you know, and it changes the law. Over here, you got something like Occupy, and it's literally, they train these people to be leaders of those groups and send them to Madison Avenue and learn some public relations, how to lie to people and smile. And anytime that any group tried to, hey, let's work on in the Fed. Oh, now we don't want to actually, you know, they would step in and act like they were helping by stopping any action to happen. You see what I'm saying? So the left is more active like that, right? But the right, they just talk about stuff, and then they look at the left and see that they're crazy. Do they spend any time at all questioning Trump? That's what I like about, at least on this Bill Whittle channel the other day. The guy's like, hey, gee, I think it's kind of a concern that all of our eggs are in the one basket with Trump. What's going to happen when Trump's gone? You know, so Brooks Agnew was saying the Democratic Party is dead. Well, so was the Republican Party. You know what I mean? What is Christianity doing? They ain't doing anything. I mean, there's basic things like my ex-wife's mother and my stepmother. They're totally involved in the church. I really do look up to them, and just like they here, stick a sign in the yard, go to this Primrose Methodist daycare. And then that's a bunch of Jesuits that run all that, got the IHS all up in there, you know. So I just am not really upset with the rich and powerful people. Half the time I'm upset that there's these eugenics plans to kill 90% of people, and the other half of the time I'm like, where is that button? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking for much. I'm not a snob. I just feel like most people are really not human. They're not alive. So we just need to focus on shaking all of us out of apathy and being able to measure, what have I achieved? That guy that's the Trump supporter that cleaned up Baltimore, I'm going to look him up. Y'all did a feature on him. Go look at that. Bill Whittle, they were talking about him. I don't remember what video that is. But, yeah, I'll just stop here. My goal is to act as some kind of a network. You know, we got all these channels of independent media, these YouTube channels, etc. Now, a problem that happens there is that even if they're not needing the money to live off of, they're totally living off of this feedback with this audience. And they're so focused on their content that they're delivering that they can't be in a position to organize, right? Okay, so all these people that listen to podcasts and watch these videos, that's a whole layer, a strata that needs to, what are you doing with any of that? Are you at least taking notes on it, doing a video response? Are you know what I mean? Like, we need to be, I want to have a network that has one channel that's the best of all this intelligence I can gather, and then I want people to make decisions and take actions locally about it. So there's a network, right, which is about putting into the internet world what we used to have before the internet was like, you know, even though MTV is all Illuminati, well, hell, it sure was nice. You used to could see music videos. I mean, maybe there's music videos today, but everything's too spread out. You got to create radical centrism is the key word. That's what I'm trying to do, the radical center. The typical center is corporate, right? And that worked great when it was Henry Ford and Model T creating this middle class based on capitalism, that ship, we're not in that up phase, we're in that planned down phase. So now the radical people that are discontent like myself have to figure out, how do you actually do anything that helps? And like I say, I agree with a lot of what Trump says, but I mean, he's using executive powers to do that. That's not conservative, is it? You know, he uses a federal mandate to lower prescription drug prices. He's using tariffs to deal with the China trade situation. Well, who started the whole China trade situation? It was Richard Nixon. Remember? So that ain't gonna do you any good, these people wearing these hats saying that they're left or right. And like, obviously you got a left and a right arm. You can't choose one over the other. You can be more from one or the other, but you're gonna have to team up with somebody. You know, like if you have a business, you're gonna have to make up for your shortcomings by hiring people that can handle that. The tech community is all that's left as far as being able to take whatever it is, your idea, your emotion, your thought, your passion, and turning that into doing something about it. So that's what I aim to do, and I want to be a resource to organize our community. So again, please go check out Bill Whittle's channel. I want to see the movie, The Joker. I might do that today. Go up to my favorite theater is, I don't know. I really like movies, but I don't really like any kind of new movies or music. But you know, we've got a good time going right now. We got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was totally awesome, and it's crazy because that's Quentin Tarantino who's saying, "Hey, Hollywood's dead, man. You got Netflix." And it's taken all the money and the creativity, so you're not going to have these big movies anymore. You're not going to have that. So that means that creative arts, we need to be making our own thing. If all the Christians, you need to make your own damn Christian movie that is worth a flip. What does your brand of thought and action have to contribute? What we need to do is, we're on the bottom of the pyramid, okay? And God is watching us, and is just as much as the Antichrist through this smartphone is watching us. And they're both the same people. Everybody's got two sides of the same coin. Everybody is good and bad. That's going back to your point about, I don't want to hang out with pedophiles, but you know, I'm not going to sit here and act like, is it really the end of the world if somebody's having sex with some 16-year-old? What's the difference between somebody that's 20 having sex with a 16-year-old and somebody that's 16 having sex with a 16-year-old? I don't know, but I mean, to act like it's just this easy breezy thing to say, or to act like we're not connected to all that, I'm sure that, you know, pornography is very popular amongst conservative Christians, I'm sure. You know, unfortunately, I watch it, you know. I wish I had a real girlfriend. I wish I had a real wife, you know, past my first divorce. So, these are real things, and that's what we do have to be thankful for from this liberal point of view that's just gone over its limit to where it's no longer the positive force, it's corrosive. But we take that for granted, the Donahue and the Oprah effect from the 80s. Thank God we can talk about all this stuff openly. But what we need to do is attack the powers that be with our contributions and our organization. We are the slaves that are working on the pyramid. You know what I mean? And that, I'm not a Mason or anything like that, but isn't that the whole point? Is that, well, really, that architect is just as much running Egypt as that Pharaoh, right? So That's the tech community. So, you know, I'm dealing with my own love-hate relationship with anything, Freemasonry or whatever. I think I've rambled on enough. I hope this had some kind of value. I hope that you understand what that I'm saying. You know, it's just like I just listened to a David Icke documentary, and it's like, okay, that was his stage to talk about what couldn't be said. Now the stage is do something about it. And that's where the internet is, between capitalism and communism. It was put here by the military, just like acid was put here by the military, just like Hollywood. You know, the first all-inclusive movie studio was in Laurel Canyon. Look up Inside Laurel Canyon, book by David McGowan. He died of some rare cancer, not much older than me, I don't think. Was that some spy killing? I don't know. But, you know, we need to be the United States, and just instead of kissing Trump's ass. You know, how are you making America great again? Because big tech, you think Silicon Valley's big tech? No. Israel's big tech. Israel gets all of our weapons and cyber. They get all that for free. We pay all this taxes, so don't come to me talking about you're against globalism. Just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't hate Trump, I don't fear him, but I mean, if you're some Christian and you don't like magic and you don't like Kabbalah, what the heck are you doing kissing Trump's ass? The guy thanks his Kabbalah teacher. I can show you a video of this Kabbalah teacher that I like that content. The guy, you know, Madonna popularized it, and it's very controversial within the Jewish community about how all that is now mainstream. You know, traditionally you had to be 40 years old before you even learned that. And anywho, I can't remember the Kabbalah school, I can't remember the name, a real popular channel. But that guy says directly to his shocked students, he says, you know, what the deal is we were sent here as aliens from this other dimension. And we have to rule the world because all these people on earth they're stupid. Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with hating Jewish people. All the best information I get about what is Judaism, what's wrong with Rothschild Zionism comes from Jewish people. Saw a documentary, guys from Israel wanted to learn what anti-Semitism was because he had never experienced it in Israel. So he asked his grandmother, well, why do people hate these Jews? And she said, well, because of the Rothschilds. They're the ones that are super ambitious and greedy and think competition is a sin, and they use their own people like pawns. All of these high-level officials in the Nazi Party were Jewish. George Soros is just one of them. Hitler could have been. They had a whole thing where they had to decide who was Jewish or not. There's a book called The Transfer Agreement by Edwin Black, who's Jewish, and he'll tell you that Hitler founded Israel. And if you don't think that all of that stuff can happen, is happening right here in America, you are a dishonest person. My 9-year-old son knows more about the truth from watching a Marvel. They can tell you the truth. That's how mind control people are. They can tell you the truth in the Bible, in a Hollywood movie, and it's not going to matter because there's a difference between critically thinking, detangling the information from the messenger, like you're saying about art, and then going, well, I'm in direct contact with all this. I don't need any money or need anything other than to be who I am. But in that movie, it talks about Operation Paperclip. Where do you think the CIA came from? Where do you think NASA came from? You know what I mean? So that's just the psychopathic by any means necessary aspect of humanity, human psychology, us. We're connected to everything, and we're individuals. No use pointing fingers. We are the greater evil by consuming. You know what I mean? Just as much as we've gotten these material advantages, those have become problems. I inherited money. Ruined my life. I thought, oh man, I got a scholarship to University of Central Arkansas for communications. I want to make movies. Did I have any discipline to make any of my dreams come true with all these options? Hell no. When we were given the internet, this just Library of Alexandria thrown in your face, were we taught any ability to not be addicted to information, just like everybody got addicted to drugs, addicted to TV? Oh hell no. Nope. So you can't win if you're trying to play left versus right within these bogus constructs. May as well be playing Dungeons and Dragons. Probably do you a lot better. I love y'all. Check out BillWhittle.com, Bill Whittle YouTube.